Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Miranda, I'm an artist. I do art things on YouTube whenever I feel like it. Today, I'm just painting something. If you don't know already, I have a Patreon where I post all of my YouTube videos a week before I post them on YouTube. I also post real-time versions of all my painting and drawing videos on there. So if you're interested, go subscribe to that. The link is gonna be in the description below. Anyway, let's get talking about this painting. I started off by painting the background black. I used my sponge roller tool to do this. I don't know what it's called. And yes, I squeezed the paint directly onto my canvas. And then I'm going in with my paint tubes, adding paint wherever I want it. And then I took my big paintbrush and I made a huge stroke down the center of the painting where the paint was. And then with the excess paint on my brush, I just did a couple more strokes on the canvas. And then I go in with my white paint and give the color a few highlights. Now I'm going in with some yellow paint, making a few circles on my canvas. And at this point, I didn't really have a plan for what I was gonna do because the only plan I went into this painting with was the fact that I wanted to do a big rainbow across the center of the canvas. So anything I do at this point is completely improvised and just off the top of my head. Then I'm going in with my palette knife with some yellow and white paint on it and making a few strokes on my canvas. And I also like doing this a lot where I go over a very thick layer of paint and I scrape off a section of it and make a little design. I really enjoy doing that in my paintings, and you'll see me do that a couple of times in this painting. Now I'm going in with some black paint on the tip of my palette knife and I'm making some very rough faces on the yellow dots. I didn't want these to be too perfect because I knew I would be hiding them underneath some layers of paint, so I didn't want to spend too much time on them. And I decided to name this painting Just Smile because if you'll notice, none of the faces are smiling. They all have just blank faces and blank stares. And speaking from experience, when somebody tells me to smile, it doesn't make me very happy and it doesn't make me feel like smiling. So this is kind of what I feel inside. Now the next couple of minutes are just filled with me trying to add some interest to the painting and add some layers of color and tints and textures. And again, I didn't really have a plan for this painting, so whatever I'm doing is just off the top of my head and what I felt would look good in the moment. And I'm trying to step back and see what colors I see primarily and then balancing it out by putting different colors around it. Now I waited for the painting to dry, and yes, again, I squeezed my paint tube directly onto my canvas. I love doing that. It's just way easier than putting it onto my palette. And I did this because at this point, my painting was looking a little bit chaotic and very busy. So I just wanted to put a pop of simplicity in there so that your eye has something to focus on. And I love to put geometric shapes in my chaotic paintings, so I just did a square. And then I thought it looked a little bit too simple, so I decided to put a black streak through it. and I broke my palette knife, but it's okay, I fixed it. And I did forget that I also had this plan for this painting. In one of my other paintings that I did a while ago, I had a section where I just put the colors of the rainbow. I laid them on really thick on my canvas, and I really liked that, and I thought that looked really good, so I did go into this painting knowing I wanted to do that. I really liked the way this looked, but I did think it looked a little bit too simple, so in a little bit you'll see me take my big paintbrush and drag the colors across the canvas, and I'm really glad that I did that because it made it look a little bit more interesting. Now I'm going in with my bottle of white paint, and I'm just letting the paint drip onto my canvas, and I'm kind of spraying the canvas with some white paint to give that spray bottle effect, again to add a little bit more interest and texture. Now this circle, originally, I just wanted to smooth out the surface of where I was going to put the circle, but I ended up liking the color that it turned out to be. The mix of the black and white and some of the colors that were still wet made a very nice gray, so I decided to keep the circle the color it was. And the excess paint on the inside was very thick. That kind of looked like a mouth to me, but it was too perfect, so I dragged it down with my palette knife, and it made it look like the mouth was dripping down. And I thought that looked really cool. I did do the classic X eyes that I always do, but I think I ended up fixing it off camera because I didn't really like the way they were looking. Going over the edges with a sponge brush to smooth it out because I'm gonna add a black border. And I do regret adding this thick of a black border because it kind of takes away a lot of the work that I did underneath, but I still find that in the end it looks really nice. I just wish that I would have done it a little bit thinner. And this is the first time I ever did this. I just wanted to try something new. I mixed some pink paint, put it in my squeeze bottle, added a little bit of water, and I squeezed it on my painting, making this drip effect / line effect. And this is the final product, guys. I love this painting so much. It's one of my favorite paintings that I've ever done. It's not my favorite, but it is up there with the best. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, I have a Patreon where you can get the real-time version of this painting along with other paintings that I do in the future. You also get early access to all of my YouTube videos and a whole bunch of good stuff like that. I also have an Etsy where you can buy some of my art. You can also like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. It really, really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed till the end. I really appreciate you guys. Any support that you give me really helps me out, so I really appreciate it. And with that said, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.